Want to feel like you're in the Matrix? Then a black CS2 loadout might be for you. In this video, I'll share the best black skins across every budget, which not only look incredible, but make for some of the cleanest combos in the game. We'll start with the USP-S, and the cheapest entry point is the Ticket to Hell from the Dreams and Nightmares collection. Minimal wear will run you just under $1, but if you keep the float under 0.1, it still wears nicely compared to factory new. Moving up, we have the USP-S Stainless. Great if you want a minimalist style, as its metal slide is super clean. If you'd like a USP-S to look like it came straight out of Twin Peaks, then look no further than the Pathfinder. Part of the Norse collection, it bumps shoulders with the legendary AWP gun year and has a distinct labyrinth pattern that I think fits the loadout really nicely. The USP-S Darkwater is a veteran of the skin world, released back in 2013. That said, it might just be the cleanest black USP-S in the game, featuring beautiful reflective highlights that are subtle but striking. It bears an unusual float range from 0.1 to 0.26 and wears pretty badly, so I'd recommend picking it up in minimal wear for $82. Finally, we've got the brand new spiral glitch from the Spytek collection. Its hypnotic black and white pattern almost feels like an optical illusion, making it one of my favorite USP-S skins in the game. SkinSwap is giving you a skin worth up to $50 entirely for free when you complete your first trade using the link in the description. If you want to upgrade your loadout, you can trade your skins for brand new ones in just a few clicks. Plus, their market tab now includes the cheapest offers from Chinese marketplaces, so you can access the best skin prices without needing a Chinese ID or bank account. You can deposit using card, Cash App, or crypto, and if you ever want to cash out, SkinSwap makes it easy with instant sell to PayPal, Venmo, or crypto. They also run free daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways, and every completed trade earns you extra chances to win. Use the link below to claim your free skin worth up to $50 and receive a 3% lifetime sales bonus. Thanks again to SkinSwap for supporting the channel. If you're a P2000 user, we'll kick things off with the Shore Grip, a fairly recent addition from the Fever case. This budget option comes in at just under $1 factory new, but its subtle orange detailing can add a nice pop of color. From the Ancient collection comes the sleek P2000 Panther Camo. The reflective design is pretty muted, keeping this a clean option for your loadout. Lastly, we have the Chainmail. This mil-spec skin was released with the Cobblestone collection and trades up to the legendary Dragon Lore. Nevertheless, the armor mesh looks quite interesting in and of itself, and its price has fallen significantly from its 2025 peak, coming in at $51 in factory new. Moving on to the Glock 18, and we'll start with the Catacombs. This skin boasts the most skulls per square inch in the game, and you can pick it up at a very reasonable 70 cents in field tested. Another great budget option is the Ironwork, which really stands out with its intricate wrought iron design. In the next tier, we have the Grinder. I recommend using a pattern guide as the look can vary massively from seed to seed. However, I'll list a few of the max black patterns here. Just keep in mind these patterns can garner some overpay, so take your time to find a great deal. On the flip side, if you're looking for something classic and understated, you can't go wrong with the Glock Knight. It's not bland, it's understated. With a float cap starting at 0.06, you won't find many in factory new, but luckily it still looks great in minimal wear at $9. Lastly, we have the Dragon Tattoo, a restricted skin from the original weapon case. Its utility in trade-ups for the AK case hardened has certainly elevated the price point, but the Black Dragon decal fits perfectly into our theme. Now before we move on to our next weapon, let's take a moment to consider some knife and glove combos, a key piece of any loadout that dictates both the style and budget you're going for. For your gloves, a great entry point is the Broken Fang Unhinged gloves in field tested, which sells for as little as $53. Alternatively, for a little more, the Motor Glove Smokeouts in field tested cost $112. Given how versatile these gloves are, I think they're great value. In a similar price range, we have the Driver Gloves Black Tie. If you don't mind a few scratches, a field tested pair will cost $125 and make for a solid base to your loadout. In the next tier, we have these Specialist Glove Black Books. These really pop, and they're also pattern based, so you can find pairs with double guns, double smoking terrorist, or double... well, have a peek at Seed 30 and see for yourself. Another solid option is the Motor Gloves Eclipse. Having the yellow accent color can look amazing if you build around it, and a field tested pair will cost around $500. Finally, and you probably saw this coming, the Nox. Since their introduction in 2020 with Operation Broken Fang, Nox have been the de facto black gloves, and for good reason. They pair brilliantly with just about any gun or knife in the game, and they have really great subtle details like the panther spots on the back of the hand. Also, the USP-S Dark tricorder paired with Nox may be the best looking starting loadout in the game. As for knives, there are tons of great options for a black loadout. On the budget side of things, we have the Huntsman Knight. In field tested, you'll still get a predominantly dark blade that won't break the bank at just $73. Following that, we have the Kukri Knife Vanilla. Kukri knives aren't everyone's cup of tea, but honestly, I think they're underrated with their unique inspect and pull-out animations. Next up, the Flip Knife Black Laminate. For this loadout, a black laminate finish works well on any knife, but the Flip has a satisfying pull-out and is quite affordable in field tested. However, the lower the float, the blacker the blade, so keep that in mind. Whilst everyone knows about the Doppler gems, you may be surprised to learn there are also black gems. These are scorched knife patterns where the blade is almost totally black, such as this classic knife 791. If you're keen to pick one up yourself, you may need to be patient and willing to overpay, as there isn't a huge supply overall, but there are others like the Stiletto pattern 791 or 543, Shadow Daggers pattern 415, or if you're feeling romantic, the Kukri pattern 979, aka the Black Heart. You can easily inspect more patterns on a site like skincraft.gg. I'm giving away the brand new Glock Ghost Protocol in field tested this month. For your chance to win, simply like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I'll pick the winner August 31st. Good luck. If you've got more to spend, the Butterfly Knife Knight is a great upgrade. At $520 in field tested, the smooth matte finish is still preserved and hard to beat on an S tier knife. Another option is the M9 Vanilla, one of the first knives added to CSGO. This knife will set you back $760 and is super clean. Finally, we have the Karambit Vanilla, a gorgeous knife that's earned its place as one of the most iconic in all of Counter-Strike. A black laminate finish is also an option here for about $300 less in minimal wear, but nothing beats the clean finish of the Vanilla, which runs for $1,060. And while they're not black, if your budget allows for it, you can't go wrong pairing the Nox with any gem knife. It's a stunning combination. On another note, don't overlook the impact of agents on the overall combo. The navy sleeves of the default CT agent don't really suit the look, so I'd recommend Michael Cyphers with his long black sleeves as a solid pick for just $11. The Chem Has Specialist also works at that price point, or for $70, pick up D Squadron Officer, whose brownish sleeves go well with the Nox. On the T side, so Bloody Silent Daryl and his silver accessories are a great option at $40, but Black Wolf Saber is another solid choice here at just $7. Moving on to the P250, the metallic DD-Pat is a great budget pick and offers a solid option at just 13 cents in factory new. If you want a little more bronze, the Bullfrog can get us there and keep the price under $1 even in the best condition. Alternatively, the Dark Filigree is a stunning skin that I really don't see much, and features a rich red floral illustration. A really cool skin that also trades up to the all prints from the Canal collection. Lastly, for the P250s, we have the Cartel. This skin has a similar look to the USP-S stainless, so could make for a nice pairing. It currently goes for $9 in field tested or $41 factory new. As for the Tech 9, we've got a lot to choose from. The Perimeter comes from the new Spy Tech collection and is the closest you'll get to being inside an X-Wing. Alternatively, the Cutout at $490 in field tested offers a fancy wallpaper vibe that goes really well with this loadout. For a splash of red, the Isaac makes for a great choice on the upper end of our Tech 9 budget at $34 in factory new. And as a fun fact, this skin was made by the same creator as the Asimov family and was originally submitted to the workshop under that name before Valve changed it. For the 5.7, we'll kick off with the Scumbria. Not a great name, but you can't argue with a clean skin for just 30 cents field tested. Meanwhile, the Triumvirate can add a pop of color with its contrasting blue and orange detailing and still costs under $2 in field tested. But if that's too much color for you, the Anodized Gunmetal offers a sleek finish that you can't go wrong with. Its low 0.08 float cap means factory new is the cheapest option at $19. Next up are the Dualies, because two guns are better than one. The ventilators are a very affordable entry point, and I think the yellow pairs perfectly with the Moto Eclipse gloves. I also really like the Dueling Dragons here. The chalkboard artwork on the barrel is beautiful, and they're great value at just 36 cents field tested or $5.40 factory new. Moving up, we have the Balance, a skin that has similar vibes to the Glock Ironwork or P250 Cartel, but does feature a rose on the handle only visible on the inspect. Lastly, if you want a statement piece, look no further than the Duelist. These trade up to the M4A1's Hot Rod, which has pushed up the price significantly, but they still look fantastic in their own right with that sapphire-like grip. The last pistol on our list is the Deagle. A budget option is the Calligraphy at just 21 cents in field tested, and is honestly an underrated skin at that price point. For something a bit more sci-fi, the Directive fits the bill and wears really well. It doesn't gather any scratches at higher wears, but instead starts to rust away. Next is a specific pattern recommendation for the Serpent Strike, which has a few max black variants, including 649, 341, and 328. Expect to pay a bit more than market price for these patterns. As we've already seen on some knives, the Knight is a perfect finish for this loadout, and the Deagle Knight is no exception, going for just over $10 in field tested. I also really like the simplicity of the conspiracy, and this once again pairs with the Moto Eclipse gloves incredibly well. And of course, you can't forget the Blaze, a true icon of the game. The price is substantial at $665 in factory new, but it's an absolutely killer skin, and a favorite amongst the pros. The first SMG up is the MP9. Our cheapest entry point, the Featherweight, has interesting texturing and is a great budget option at just 74 cents factory new. The Dart is also an excellent affordable choice if you ever need to remember which way is forward. Very handy. Next up, I really like the Rose Iron's splash of color and attention-grabbing artwork. However, I will admit that the pattern alignment, or lack thereof, does bother me sometimes. Moving on, the Hypnotic skins are always bangers, and the MP9 is no exception. There's something about their simple design that just hits differently. You can pick this one up in factory new for just $18. But if you want a serious upgrade, the Dark Age could fit the bill. It's pretty sleek and comes once again from the Cobblestone collection. It doesn't look too bad in minimal wear, but I'd personally prefer factory new at around $65. Looking then at the Mac 10s, where the new Spytech collection kicks us off with the Video Cam. A basic but pleasant skin for a low price, just try not to get distracted by the screen on the back. Next up is a pretty underused skin, the Whitefish. I haven't seen this much in game, maybe it's to do with the gory fish bones, but if you're cool with that, you can pick it up for just 50 cents field tested or $9 factory new. Finally, I have two skins that do similar things, the Ultraviolet and Heat. Both can be purchased for around $2.15 field tested. It just depends if you prefer the orange accents of the Heat or the purple accents of the Ultraviolet. For the final SMG, we have the MP7. The Astrolab works great as a cheap option, but I'd probably avoid factory new as it's seen some pretty heavy price manipulation recently. For a Damascus steel look, check out the Sunbaked from the Anubis collection. To work with a black loadout, I'd definitely recommend factory new as it starts to turn bronze in higher wears. Finally, the skin with the second most skulls per square inch is the suitably named Skulls. It's all skulls, and they can be all yours for $10 in field tested. Moving on to the rifles, let's start with the M4 4. The Aeolian Dark is a great budget pick with a ton of pattern variations. I personally like ones like number 19 where the design does not cover the entire weapon, and it only costs 32 cents in factory new. At a similar price point, the Zubastick has some bite to it and gets darker at higher floats. Therefore, it's one of the rare occasions I'd actually recommend buying in Battle Scarred. Next, the Dark Operative from the new Spytech collection is no nonsense and won't break the bank. A very clean option, although I sometimes feel it's a bit too similar to the default. On the flip side, I love how the magnesium fits into this loadout. It's super clean and its design is exactly what I imagined for a monochrome blaze. It currently goes for $8 in factory new. Last but not least, we have the Griffin. Back in the day, this skin had some copyright issues and people hoped it would become the second contraband skin after the Howl. Ultimately, it didn't, but it's still a sick skin with great artwork and costs $103 factory new. Next up, the M1S, and we'll kick off with a classic, the Nitro. The orange accents are great and you'll barely notice anywhere in field tested at only 40 cents. For a gold touch, the Mud spec is easy on the eyes and very affordable. At this price point, I think it's pretty underrated. If lizards are your thing or you're enjoying House of the Dragon, the Basilisk might be for you. And I definitely think minimal wear offers up the best value at $10 compared to its $40 factory new counterpart. Yet another Dark Water makes the list, but the M1S might be the best of the lot. It's absolutely gorgeous in minimal wear, costing $86. If you have more to spend, the Cyrex is a fantastic option. It trades up to the first gen butterfly knives, so its value has risen since the gold trade up change, but the finish is really clean and you can't go wrong with it. Plus, there's always a ton of incredible high-end sticker crafts for sale, given it's such an OG skin. Finally, if you want to upgrade to one of the most iconic rifle skins out there, the Knight is an absolutely beautiful skin with its sleek gold detailing, although the price might not be quite as attractive. Now for the AK, and we've got a lot to choose from. The best entry point is the Very Camo Grey, a classic CS2 skin with its camo mesh, and a really solid skin for the price. Moving on, the Steel Delta takes the stock AK and makes it better in every way. The Damascus steel effect really pops, and the darker wood adds nice contrast. And is this what I think it is? Next, the slate doesn't mess about with its full black finish. It's perfect for sticker crafts, will never go out of fashion, and has become one of the ultimate liquidity markers of the CS market. You can pick it up in minimal wear for $6 or in factory new for $15. For another classic look, the black laminate has you covered. This is probably my favorite of the AK laminate finishes, and obviously pairs well with the black laminate knives. As a bonus, it's quite reasonably priced and field tested at just $35. The next two AKs are each legendary in their own right. The red line was a common sight in the CSGO pro scene. This skin does a lot despite its simple overall design. The red accents are perfect, and for just over $130 in minimal wear, it's an excellent pickup. And then for another banger skin, the Vulcan has been an iconic AK since its introduction in 2014. The price is reflective of that, but honestly, it's such a timeless classic skin. By contrast, our final pick is a brand new addition to the game, the Auto Exec. Perhaps controversial at its debut, I think the pearlescent finish is growing on people, and it's undoubtedly a slick skin, currently selling for $167 field tested or about $700 factory new, but this is likely to fall while it remains in the armory. Moving on to the Galil, and the Grey Smoke is a great budget option for this loadout. It fits the theme and goes for just 3 cents factory new. You really can't complain there. Next up, the gold and silver accents of the metallic squeezer make for an interesting option, especially if you like the graffiti style. I'd recommend using a pattern guide if you want to find the max black patterns like ID 992 or search for a silver bunny like 171. The Urban Rubble has a grittier look, but its shade of lilac is quite pleasant, and I think minimal wear is a fair price at $8.62. Lastly, we have the orange DD Pat. Honestly, this is pretty nice in anywhere, depending if you want a clean or grizzled look. However, its float cap starts at 0.06, meaning factory new supply is extremely tight, so keep that in mind. You either love or hate the FAMAS, but we'll kick off with the Vendetta, a simple skin with a cool brush metal effect on the body. It can be picked up for as little as 15 cents factory new. Next, the Sergeant can be a sleek addition to your loadout, and it holds up extremely well even in field tested, as it doesn't get any scratches. Great value for just $2.20. Moving on, and the skin that I think is quite underrated is the faulty wiring from the Vertigo 2021 collection. A ton of subtle detailing and some nice green accents. However, if you want a stylish upgrade, look no further than the ZX Spectron. This skin reminds me of Arc Raiders with those vibrant stripes, but it's still predominantly black. Keep in mind the StatTrak version is cheaper in factory new, so you could save $5 there if you don't mind the orange counter. Finally, I'm a sucker for folklore-inspired skins like the Jinn. Coming in at $61 in factory new, this features impressive artwork and enough subtle colors to keep things interesting. Consider me a fan. The Scout is next on the list. The Grey Smoke returns as our entry point here, another great value option at only 5 cents factory new. Then we have the Carbon Fiber, a clean skin at a reasonable price, especially as the 0.12 float cap means it's always in good condition. It's going for just $4 factory new right now. However, for an upgrade, look no further than the Parallax. It's fairly similar to the Chromatic Aberration family, although I personally prefer these zebra stripes. The text says 2 shots, 1 kill, but feel free to prove that wrong with a couple of headshots. The Detour certainly isn't everyone's favorite, but it's an OG skin from the Breakout collection, and could offer up some nice contrast while keeping the monochrome look. Then lastly, we have the Dark Water. What else can I say except Valve got it right with this finish. It fits our theme perfectly, and you can pick it up for $30 in minimal wear. Our final weapon is the Orb. To start off, the Arsenic Spill once again features the iconic camo mesh, but the color combo here really reminds me of the early CSGO days. Regardless, it looks cool and goes for under $1 factory new. Next up, the Black Nile, which some might consider as a discount graphite, but I really like its 3D textured look and platinum touches. It's a great option at $2.49 field tested. The Black Box works well as a blank slate for sticker crafts, or if you're just looking for a no-nonsense orb. Moving on to the Red Line, which admittedly has been around since 2013, but I'm still not sick of it. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get more Redline skins given how iconic they are. You can pick it up in field tested for $35. And while they never reached the status of the Redline, the elite build skills have a strong identity in their own right, and the AWP might just be my favorite of the bunch. I like the orange touches, and if StatTrak is your thing, it fits perfectly here. Finally, the Graphite is another bona fide classic that was made for a black loadout. The float cap is 0.12, so don't worry too much about the wear with this one. It really doesn't get cleaner than this. I'd love to hear what you guys think of these choices, and if you want to see some unique knife glove combos, be sure to check out this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.